February is going to be a legally challenging month for three Tamil Nadu ministers and former Chief Minister O. Panneerselvam, along with two former ministers K. Ponmudy of the DMK and Valarmathi of the AIADMK. Why? Vanakkam. This is T. Suresh Kumar. Thank you for joining me in this episode of the Hindu Focus Tamil Nadu. Today we shall examine why Finance Minister Thangam, Thennarasu, Revenue Minister KKSSR Ramachandran and Minister for Rural Development I Periyasamy are facing legal hurdles. Along with them, the three politicians that I mentioned in the introduction are also facing legal hurdles. What happened was that these ministers and politicians were facing corruption cases registered by the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption. However, when their parties came to power, the courts had discharged them, and Justice Anand Venkatesh of the Madras High Court over the course of last 6 to 7 months had taken up suo moto for revision these cases in which the ministers were let off. So the judge found that most of these discharge and acquittal were based on volte face by the investigating agency. So now Justice Anand Venkatesh has said that he will be holding the final hearing in all these cases and completing them in the month of February itself. For the sake of convenience, the judge has clubbed the revision petitions of Thangam, Thennarasu, KKSSR Ramachandran, O. Panneerselvam and Valarmathi, because the point that he needs to examine in this are more or less the same. So in these cases, he has said that he will be holding continuous hearings from February 5 to 9 and complete the final arguments in those 4 days. The judge has said that he will specifically examine the legality of the closure reports filed by the DVAC in these cases, as well as the legality of the special courts accepting these closure reports and discharging the accused in the 4 cases. These 4 politicians were facing cases of amassing wealth disproportionate to their known sources of income. In the case of I. Periyasamy, the DVAC had registered a case against him in connection with alleged corruption in the allotment of a Tamil Nadu Housing Board plot to the personal secretary of former Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi. In this case, the court has raised suspicion over the manner in which he was discharged. Basically, Periyasamy had filed discharge petition in the trial court. The trial court had rejected it, and subsequently this decision of the trial court was upheld both by the Madras High Court as well as by the Supreme Court. After this process was over, the minister filed yet another petition for discharge, raising more or less similar grounds. Curiously, last year, the special court discharged the minister in the case on the ground that the sanction accorded by the Assembly Speaker to prosecute him was invalid. So the court wants to examine the legal validity of his discharge from the case. The judge will complete the process of final hearing in this case on February 12th and 13th. In Ponmudy's case, the court has raised doubts over the manner in which he was acquitted after the trial in the case that he was facing was shifted from Viluppuram to Vellore. The final arguments in this case will be taken up for hearing between February 19th and 22nd. We all know that Ponmudy just last month was convicted in a corruption case and has lost his ministership. So it remains to be seen how he is going to face the current case. Justice Anand Venkatesh has asked the counsel for these politicians to submit the counter affidavit as well as written submissions by January 30 and also cite the case laws on which they are going to rely on during the final arguments. So there is no overlap in the case at the stage of final hearing. The outcome of these revision petitions will have a definite bearing on the political future of these politicians as well as the political parties to which they affiliated. Particularly for the DMK, the timing of this final hearing is a very challenging period. Already one of its ministers, Senthil Balaji, is in jail in a case registered by the Enforcement Directorate. Ponmudy, as we saw, lost his ministership. The DMK will need the services of its veterans on the field to win seats in the Lok Sabha elections. For O. Panneerselvam, who is hoping to tie up with the BJP and face the elections, any reversal will affect his image. It remains to be seen what the outcome of these revision petitions are going to be. I shall meet you in another video. Until then, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. Thank you.